the Hawthorne Arms. The elevator in our building, the Hawthorne Arms, had always been a source of minor irritation. You know the type. Slow, prone to the occasional shuddering halt between floors, and possessed of a dingy, vaguely mildewy smell that clung to your clothes. We'd grumble about it, especially on grocery days, but it was a fact of life in our 10-story brick box. That was before the elevator developed a life, and a decidedly sinister one of its own. It started with the little things, the kind you almost dismissed as your imagination playing tricks. The floor indicator lights would flicker erratically, displaying phantom floors, sometimes even numbers that didn't exist in our building. Then came the unsettling rides. You'd press L for the lobby, and the thing would stubbornly ascend to the 3rd floor before grudgingly coming back down. Or worse, it would sail right past your floor with this unnerving, silent glide, the doors hissing open to reveal an empty, dimly lit hallway that wasn't yours. We'd exchange uneasy glances with neighbors, muttering about faulty sensors and promising ourselves we'd lodge another complaint with old Mr. Abernathy, our perpetually grumpy super. Mrs. Gable on the 8th floor, a sweet but slightly dotty woman who always smelled faintly of lavender, was the first to truly experience its malevolence. She recounted, her voice trembling, how the elevator doors had seemed to actively try to crush her, the worn rubber edges pressing against her walker with surprising force, before retracting with a mechanical sigh at the last possible moment. We patted her hand and attributed it to her age and a touch of paranoia. Then the sounds changed. The familiar groaning and wheezing vanished, replaced by an unnerving, almost unnatural silence. The elevator began to move with a disconcerting smoothness, too quiet, too efficient. It felt wrong, like a predator stalking its prey with silent grace. The disappearance of little Timmy Jenkins from 3B shattered our complacency. His mother, Carol, a single mom with tired eyes and a perpetually worried expression, told the police he'd taken the elevator down to meet a friend. He never arrived. The elevator was found stuck between the 2nd and 3rd floors, the doors jammed shut. When the frantic building manager finally forced them open, the car was empty. Timmy was gone, vanished into thin air within that cramped metal box. The Hawthorne Arms became a place of hushed whispers and fearful glances. The police investigation went nowhere. No signs of forced entry, no witnesses, no explanation, just an empty elevator and a missing child. After that, the stairs became our preferred mode of transport, the extra flights, a tiring but welcome exertion compared to the icy dread that the elevator now radiated. But sometimes the weight of groceries, the lateness of the hour, or sheer exhaustion would tempt you back to its silent embrace. I remember one particularly draining night. I'd been helping a friend move furniture, and by the time I got back to the Hawthorne Arms, every muscle in my body screamed in protest. The stairwell loomed, a dimly lit testament to my fatigue. With a sigh of resignation, I pressed the call button for the elevator. The doors slid open with their usual silent grace, revealing a dimly lit interior. The air inside felt heavy, stagnant, and distinctly colder than the hallway. As the doors whispered shut behind me, a faint scratching sound echoed from the ceiling. It was a dry, insistent scraping, like tiny claws dragging across metal. I jabbed the button for the 6th floor, my heart beginning to pound a slow, heavy rhythm against my ribs. The elevator remained stubbornly still. The scratching intensified, growing louder, closer. It sounded like something was trying to claw its way out. I craned my neck, peering up at the ceiling, my breath catching in my throat. A thick, black liquid began to seep through the seams, forming glistening droplets that plopped onto the worn linoleum floor with a soft, sickening thud. The smell was overpowering now, a cloying sweetness mixed with a sharp, metallic tang that made my stomach churn. Suddenly, the indicator lights flickered violently and died, plunging me into absolute darkness. The scratching stopped abruptly. A new sound filled the suffocating silence, a soft, wet gurgling like someone drowning in thick syrup just above my head. Terror, cold and sharp, pierced through my exhaustion. I hammered on the door, yelling for help, my voice swallowed by the oppressive silence. The gurgling continued, closer, more insistent now, and I could feel a cold, clammy draft on the back of my neck, as if something was breathing right behind me. Then a faint whisper slithered into my ear, a child's voice distorted and laced with an unbearable sorrow and a chilling undercurrent of malice. "You're next." The elevator lurched violently, dropping several feet with a sickening thud. I screamed, a raw, primal sound that was abruptly cut short as the lights flickered back to life, revealing the lobby. The doors slid open and I stumbled out, gasping for air, my legs so weak they almost buckled beneath me. I never took the elevator again. Neither did anyone else who lived in the Hawthorne Arms. It remained there, a silent, ominous presence, occasionally emitting a low, mournful groan in the dead of night. Sometimes, if you pressed your ear against the cold metal doors, you could still hear that faint, wet gurgling, a constant, chilling reminder of the horror that resided within, patiently waiting for its next victim. And sometimes, late at night, a single light on the control panel would flicker to life, illuminating a floor no one had selected, a silent, beckoning invitation into the darkness. The Hawthorne Arms had become a building haunted, not by ghosts in the traditional sense, but by the malevolent spirit that had taken root within its mechanical heart. And we all knew with a chilling certainty that it wasn't finished yet.